Perfect. Thank you. So I get the honor and privilege of talking to you guys a little bit today about weight loss and weight management, the Neolife way. But I'm really going to focus on the shake, as you'll see. So I've got a lot of information. I'm going to try not to overwhelm you with, the biochemistry and the geeky stuff that I really like and that really makes me tick with the proven science that we have behind these products. But we are going to talk a little bit today and go in depth so that you understand. So when we talk about nutrition, I think we'd all agree that we're very aware of all the truth in the statement, you are what you eat. It's kind of why we're here today, right? But about 70% of the population, unfortunately, is overweight or obese. So this negatively impacts our health in all kind of negative ways with chronic disease, which we talked a lot about. You're talking about diabetes and heart disease and even cancer. So it's not surprising that a lot of us often want to find a way to lose a little weight or to at least maintain a healthy weight. But the industry, as you know, is inundated with all kind of fad diets, quick weight loss plans. So how do you know? How do you know what to choose? How do you know what to do to actually get where you need to get? Well, I would say that there's a lot involved in choosing the way that you need to manage your weight and weight loss. But it's pretty simple. You all know that in order to lose weight, you have to actually burn more calories than you take in. Simple science there. But there's so many other factors that go into play, like your resting energy expenditure. Have you ever heard of that? Your resting energy expenditure. It's based on your age, your weight, your gender, your muscle mass. As we age, we don't burn as much energy doing our normal day-to-day activities. And so all those things come into play, but you also have to take into account when you're thinking about managing your weight. A lot of these fad diets, a lot of things on the market, they actually put you into more nutrient depletion. So you want to make sure that you're getting the nutrients into your body that you need to just maintain the daily functions of life. Also protein. I don't think there's a program out there that doesn't include protein, and that's really important because it has what's called a thermogenic effect. And that just means that it actually takes more calories to digest and to metabolize protein than the caloric content of the protein itself. So good quality protein is proven not only to promote fat loss, but also to maintain muscle mass and suppress hunger. And I would say you have to actually choose something that is based on solid scientific science. And so we know that we actually have that in Neolife. And of course, you have to include exercise. But today we're going to focus a little bit. I'm going to go behind the scenes a little bit with protein so you understand the importance, because what's one of our big things with our Neolife shake? 22 amino acids. And so you all know that. You know there's 22 amino acids, but do you know the significance of that? Do you know why that's so important? I hope to dive into that a little bit today so you have a little bit better understanding of that. So when we talk about amino acids, they're the basic building blocks of protein. You don't need to remember all these names. You don't need to know the names of the amino acids, but basically the proteins in our body repair, maintain everything, your skin, your muscle, your organs, your nerves. So the amino acids in your body are precursors to all of this. They're precursors to your hormones, to your neurotransmitters. So they actually help maintain proper brain and body function. So to simplify this a little bit for you, you've got these amino acids. Let me find my little red dot here. Amino acids. And if you think about it as just little beads in a strand, your body is constantly arranging and rearranging these little beads, if you want to call it that, in order to make the over 20,000 proteins that they have discovered that are in our bodies. How amazing is that? But the Neolife shake provides 22 of the amino acids, and there's 20 to 22 amino acids that have been found to be important in human nutrition. There's a lot more amino acids, but those are the ones that are proven to be important in human nutrition. So when we talk about those 22 amino acids, if you look on this slide, it kind of breaks down those 22. And there's what we call essential and non-essential. And all I want you to remember about this is there's about 9 that are considered essential for adults. And that just means we have to get those from our daily diet. Our body cannot produce them. There's a 10th one for children that's actually included in the shake as well, and that's the arginine. And amazingly enough, Neolife included that. So this is good for all ages. But these amino acids actually, sorry, I lost my place here. Let me go back here. So when we talk about essential and non-essential amino acids, I said that there's essential ones that you have to get from your diet and non-essential that your body can make, but the key there is that it can make them. There are circumstances where these amino acids that are considered to be non-essential, your body can't make them. If you've undergone stress or you're sick or you're fighting something or you undergo major trauma, then your body cannot make those. For example, the arginine, the one that's essential for children, that's considered a non-essential in adults. But if your body's fighting a certain illness, the demands for that amino acid outweigh what your body can produce, especially like when you're fighting cancer. So it's super important that you supply that to your body. And as we look further about the significance of the amino acids, this is just a simple diagram that illustrates how protein's broken down, but what I want to focus on is just these functions to the right here. That was not good. Sorry, guys. This is super sensitive. Okay, right here to the right. When protein's broken down, it's the three systems that I want to talk about a little bit today are the enzymes, the hormones, and the antibodies. So we talk about why is it so important that Neolife put those 22 amino acids that are essential or important to human nutrition in that shake. Look at your enzymes. Enzymes are just catalysts for any reaction in your body. You have to have enzymes to break down everything that is ingested into your body, everything that processes in your body. So when you take in food, say you don't have an enzyme to break that specific thing that you took in your body, that you ingested, that you don't have it, something's lacking. Guess what? Your body, being the awesome machine that it is, starts attacking that. So your natural immune system starts trying to fight off. It doesn't recognize it's foreign to the body because you didn't have what you needed to break it down so that your body could use it. So your body recognizes that as a foreign substance. So you start your natural inflammation process and your immune process. You ever heard of food intolerances and food allergies, autoimmune diseases? That's a lot of the origin of this is that we don't have the correct enzymes. So that's super important. Those enzymes, those amino acids make up those enzymes. When you talk about hormones, this is a big subject. I'm not just talking about your sex hormones, although those are super important. Your progesterone, your testosterone, and your estrogen are all made and originated from amino acids. But let's look a little bit at all the systems. Talk about your thyroid. That's considered our energy burner. Thyroid uses glucose to create that energy. If your thyroid maintains your metabolism. If your thyroid's low, you're sluggish. A lot of times you're depressed and your metabolism is shot. So your thyroid actually signals to the liver that it needs some glucose. So it brings glucose out of those glycogen stores. And Bob talked a little bit about that. And the insulin that's secreted by your pancreas. So when you talk about maintaining and having proper thyroid function, you need those amino acids. When you talk about your pancreas, like I said, it secretes the insulin. When glucose goes into your cells, you have to have insulin to get that glucose into your cells. So you have to have amino acids for that. Your pituitary gland, growth hormone. Growth hormone is one of the big hormones from your pituitary that is essential for vitality and longevity in life and creating and maintaining muscle mass. Adrenal. How many of you have heard of adrenal fatigue or you burn out your adrenals? The adrenal has lots of different hormones. One of those important hormones is adrenaline. And adrenaline is your fight or flight response. When our body's stressed or we're in danger, your body has to secrete that insulin. It secretes adrenaline. Adrenaline goes and knocks on the door of the liver and says, hey, give me some of those stores of glucose because I need energy fast. But when we stress out our bodies and we don't have the enzymes to take care of all these, or the amino acids to take care of all these systems, our adrenal gets burnt out. And then where are we with our fight or flight? We're constantly tired and we can't handle the stresses of life. And then again, our sex hormones, as I mentioned, I think you can see from just the processes in the endocrine and the nervous system how important these amino acids are. I mean, don't you want to just go drink like 3 shakes right now to make sure you have everything you need? But it has been proven, actually, science has proven that when there are deficiencies in these amino acids, that these systems can be improved by given specific amino acids. When somebody's injured, when somebody goes through trauma, what do we put them on in the hospital? TPN, total parental nutrition. Those things are, I'd say this is much better than any of that, but they select specific amino acids that they know to put in that TPN to make sure that their body has what it needs to fight extra stresses and to try to combat that trauma that's going on. And thirdly, and this is probably one thing that you really, really want to hone in on, is your immune response. John Miller talked a lot about this yesterday, but even in that shake, even though with those amino acids, your immune response is dependent on certain amino acids with your macrophage and your T cells. Your killer T cells have to have certain amino acids to actually fight against viruses that come into your system, new viruses that it's never recognized before. Your body can create a killer T cell to fight that if you have the correct amino acids. So this is super important stuff that when you say our Neolife Shake is 22 amino acids, people don't know what you're talking about. They don't know how important this is. But I can guarantee you talk to Bill Pierce, he can tell you how important those 22 amino acids are and how life-changing it is. So I hope, if nothing else after my talk today, that you understand how important it is and you owe it to yourself and to everybody you love to get this shake in you. I don't care if you get half a scoop in you a day and work up, but it is so important to get this shake in you. So let's talk a little bit about the Neolife Way, and we talk about weight management. I think it goes without saying, and we all know, we've heard over and over, time and time again this weekend from the testimonies that these products work. But why? Why is this company so different? Why do these products work so much better than other companies? And I would definitely tell you that Neolife has been a pioneer in the industry and way ahead of the curve. They have studied biochemistry and the science behind these products. Neolife doesn't actually create an ingredient or a product. They create health. A healthy heart, healthy liver, healthy brain. And it's all based with a solid scientific evidence focusing on cellular nutrition. It's evidence-based. When you enhance nutrition at the cellular level, you're able to give nourishment and protection and repair and renewal. Every single day, our body is in a battle with oxidation and aging. And this nutrition helps you combat that to have better health. So Neolife's protein-based weight loss program not only provides a foundational nutritional support cellularly. When you get that box of Pro Vitality, that is your starting point. But the Neolife Shake also, in addition to those 22 amino acids, the Scientific Advisory Board has used solid science to hone in on 3 proven yet very established concepts in biochemistry, and that's what I want to touch on next. One is the glycemic response control. The second one is the gut-brain signaling, and the third is lean muscle retention. So let's look at a little bit about that. And you know what? Thank you, Bob, because I don't have to talk about this today. You did such a good job of illustrating that. But I will touch on it just for a minute, just for the fact of it is so important. How awesome is it that in the early 2000s, Neolife introduced this glycemic control technology? It was a scientific first based on controlling how quickly carbohydrates enter our system. This not only promotes steady glucose levels, but it also is what gives you that long-term energy when you take that shake. As Bob was talking about you don't want those highs and lows. And I'm going to tell you another reason you don't want those highs and lows. But when you have, that's such a delicate balance between glucose and insulin. If you remember Dr. Applegate's talk, glucose is essential. It is the energy for our cells. Our brain has to have it. Every other cell in your body has to have it. But that glucose, when you ingest food, can't just get into your cells. It has to have a key to unlock the cell. The key is insulin, secreted by the pancreas, remember? But insulin unlocks that cell, glucose gets in to do what it needs to do, but your body can become resistant to insulin. I had insulin resistance and polycystic ovarian syndrome. How many people have type 2 diabetes? How many people have pre-diabetes? All of those conditions affect the ability for glucose or insulin to be received to push that glucose into that cell. When you have too much glucose floating around or too much sugar floating around in your body, what are the complications of diabetes? Eyesight goes bad, kidneys go bad, circulation goes bad. That's because glucose is attacking all that. Your body is not set up for glucose just to freely float in your body. Your brain can use it, but everything else has to be inside the cells. So if you have too much glucose in your cells, your body's getting havoc. And if you have too much insulin in your cells, too much insulin floating around because it's not doing what it needs to do, it wreaks havoc on your blood vessels. It messes your fat storage up, so you start storing more fat. Your heart starts getting affected by triglycerides. It's just a whole hot mess. So stabilizing blood glucose levels helps to maintain that. But I don't want you to miss this last point, and that is the number one key that has been studied and found for optimal health is steady glucose levels. How many of you want to live a long, healthy life? How many of you want to be over 100? I do. I want to be a centenarian, but do you want to live over 100 with full of life? I don't want to be over 100 if I'm not full of life, right? So the key to longevity and vitality is steady blood glucose controls, not having those spikes and those dips in your blood glucose. In fact, have you heard of blue zones? There's like 5 areas in the world that they've studied these people that live to be over 100. There's like areas where there's a larger number of these people. And they've actually tried to do some studies and recreate that environment. And one of the number one things there is the nutrition that we have at our fingertips. The other one that they've found as they've studied is maintaining steady glucose. I told you you're going to want to drink 5 shakes before you get out of here today. So as we move on, the second big thing that Neolife tapped into is that gut-brain signaling, the ghrelin and the leptin. And these are just hormones that control your hunger. The ghrelin, just think about your stomach growling. That's what I say. But when your stomach releases, the lining of your stomach releases this hormone, it signals to your brain, hey, I'm hungry. Hey, I'm hungry. I'm going to get hangry, right, Tom? I'm just kidding. I get hangry. But the ghrelin says, hey, I'm hungry. The leptin balances that. It's released from your fat cells, and it says, okay, time out, stop. You've had enough. But guess what? Your brain can become insensitive to these hormones, and it doesn't know when to stop eating. You feel like you're hungry. It doesn't know. But Neolife knew that high protein helps with this, and they also knew that fiber creates that feeling of fullness, and it signals a signal from the stomach to brain to say, hey, stop eating. So guess what? That Neolife shake has high protein and 5 grams of a proprietary blend of fiber that helps signal your brain to say I'm full, and that feeling of satiety. And it also helps promote fat burning. So that's super important. And lastly, just to look quickly, lean muscle retention. As you know, as we age, it's harder to maintain our lean muscle. And a lot of times when you do a weight loss program, you are losing muscle as more so than you're losing fat. We all know that lean muscle weighs a lot more than fat does. And so if you're looking at the scale, that's certainly not a good measure. But you want to maintain your lean muscle. And Neolife knew this, and they've tapped into this with the branched chain amino acids, which are super important. You'll see BCAAs in a lot of muscle building proteins and all that. Well, these are lysine, isoleucine, and valine. And that's just important for muscle growth and retention. It actually burns more fat. And that isoleucine, if you see, it significantly increases glucose uptake and usage of glucose during exercise. And remember, we want that glucose to get into those cells. They also use this Protogard process that's exclusive to Neolife. And just like the acidophilus that's protected until it gets into the intestines, these amino acids have to be protected. And they use a low temperature technology with blending to make sure that they retain the nutritional value of these amino acids so that you're getting them when you need them, where you need them. Because there are lots of things on the market that say amino acid supplements. But one of the keys with Neolife is it's bioavailable, which means that it gets where it needs to get so that it actually does what it needs to get, does what it needs to do. So when you look at a Neolife shake, I would challenge you that it is not just for weight management, but it is for total nutrition. You can enjoy it as breakfast or a snack, or breakfast, snack, and dinner now, right? But for weight management, they have a program that replaces 2 meals with a shake. And if you look here, this is the standard healthy meal plan that Neolife suggests. Eat 5 times a day. You feel full all day. You're not hungry. You have a shake for breakfast, a bar and tea for your snacks, and then a shake for lunch, and then a sensible dinner. That bar, I'm not going to get into this, but that bar actually has 10 grams of the 22 amino acids as well. So Neolife has done a phenomenal job all the way around. But as I close, I just want to say that with this protein, there's 18 grams of protein per serving, and it also has a protein digestibility corrected amino acid score. That's a mouthful, but PDCAAS. In the industry, that's just a way to measure the quality of a protein and to measure how well your body digests it and it gets in your system. The standard, the highest you can normally get is 1. That's the standard. Neolife has the highest that I know of on the market for 1.73. That's pretty phenomenal that Neolife has given you such quality. So this triggers body retaining muscle mass. It also has a multi-enzyme blend from plant-derived enzymes to help you digest that protein. How many of you had other protein shakes and it hurts your stomach like crazy? You can't digest it. You get gas, bloating. Neolife Shake doesn't do that. They've thought ahead. It has the short chain amino acids for fast energy and the long chain ones that help keep you feel satisfied and improve digestibility. The 5 grams of fiber that we talked about. In addition to that, it has the 25 essential minerals and vitamins that we haven't even talked about. It also has, and I'm just going to touch on this briefly, choline and inositol. That support and utilization to resist fat buildup in the liver. How many of you, and I think this is so much more prevalent today, have heard of non-fatty alcoholic liver disease? It's prevalent today. Your key is the inositol and the choline, and that is in that Neolife shake. So it has the ideal protein to carb to fat ratio for total metabolic balance, and it's only 160 calories. You all know what it doesn't contain: no artificial sweeteners, preservatives, colors, no GMOs, no gluten, no hydrogenated fats or trans fats, saturated fats, no cholesterol, and it's 90% lactose free. I will tell you that a lot of people who think they can't take dairy can take this product just because of the quality that Neolife has put into it. So once again, in conclusion, how many of you want life and vitality and longevity? To have a chance to be a healthy centenarian, I would say that Neolife has developed a shake that's good for all stages of life. Not only to aid in weight loss, but weight management, and it gives the body's critical support to help support glucose control, which is critical in a culture that otherwise feeds chronic disease and illness. Neolife shakes are based on decades of research, and the Scientific Advisory Board has done a phenomenal job and meticulously formulated this product. As Marjorie Clark has said, if you could have the top scientists in the world preparing breakfast for you every day, That's what you get in this Neolife shake. So it is such a phenomenal product. There's nothing like it on the market. I'm going to tell you again, you owe it to yourself. You owe it to your family, to everybody that you love and care about, to get this shake into them. Tell them about the shake. Get it in them. You don't have to tell them all this. They don't need to know all this. Get it in them. Right, Bill? Get that shake in them. Ask Marjorie Clark. Marjorie, has this shake transformed your life? So you get this shake in people, and you're going to have people that say, I can't take it. I have a good friend, narcolepsy, my age, narcolepsy, gamut of health conditions. She's on Neolife. Tried to get her on this shake. Tried every way. Protein balls, protein energy balls, anything. She can't do it. I'm going to try again. But she can't stand the taste, because a lot of times when we have these processes and diseases and we're used to eating this bad processed food, our taste is distorted, to be honest with you. Our children can tell you, when we started them on the shake, they didn't want the shake. But I said, you're going to put this shake, you're going to take this shake. I will stand there and watch you till you get this shake in your body. Today, they take it and they want it. Because once you feel the difference, you will make sure you get it in you. So thank you for your time.